Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted us while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Baka ni kamazomarimasu kamorogi kamoromi no mikoto mochite sume miyoya kamo izanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himoka no tachihana no odo no ahagi hara ni Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono o kami moro moro no magaboto tsugare o. Harai tamae kiyome tamae toma o sukoto no yoshi o. Amatsu-kami kunitsu-kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni abuchi koma no mimi furi tatete kikoshimese to kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified, as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated for group Johrei. May God and Meishu-sama bless you. Meishu-sama's teaching this evening is entitled Faith and is found on the Daily Inspirations, page 37. Even in this dark world, let us live with peace of mind, knowing that we are guided by the eternal light of God. On earth, let us have true faith in God, quietly doing all that we can without fanfare for the welfare of others. In our search for truth, we may read thousands of books, but unless we have faith within, our seeking ends in failure and illusion. Our goal is to create paradise on earth, but that has to begin on a smaller scale, within the creation of paradise in our homes and families. For that to occur, paradise must reside in our hearts, and having paradise in one's heart means there can be no suffering in one's mind. Impatience is a form of suffering, as is agonizing over plans that have not worked out. We must rise above suffering. The best way to negate suffering is through gratitude. In this way, paradise will reign within one's own mind. Past age has been referred to as the age of night, the age of hell. Even those with firm faith in God could not totally rid themselves of hell. However, the age of night is finally ending. We are about to enter the daylight age, and our organization will play a leading role in creating paradise. Therefore, as I said earlier, be careful not to foster suffering within your own mind, but rather create paradise within yourself. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Thank you also for directing your prayers for the victims of the hurricane in Puerto Rico. There has been a recent earthquake nearby Mexico. There is risks of tsunami, also the earthquake in Taipei, Taiwan. Appreciate your prayers. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience of Fatima da Silva Clementino. She's from the Johrei Center in Mato Grosso, Brazil. In early 2018, Fatima was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome. She experienced severe pain, abdominal swelling, and vomiting that only stopped when she was taken to a hospital to take medications. Also in 2018, a friend of her husband, who is a Johrei minister and the Johrei Center head at the Johrei Center, told them about the benefits of Johrei and offered to give it to her. As she lives in the countryside, 2 hours from the Johrei Center, the minister requested religious assistance from two members residing in her city, and Fatima began to receive Johrei twice a week. She gradually improved, and in about 4 months, she no longer had symptoms of the disease. Faced with this miracle, she wanted to be useful through Johrei and was allowed to receive the sacred focal point of Hikari in December of 2019. She began to read the teachings of Meishu-sama daily, to channel Johrei at home, and to practice beauty through flowers at home and at work, which brought a lot of harmony to her everyday life. Her mother joined our faith in August of 2020, and together they both began practicing home gardening and produced most of the vegetables they consume at home. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, they faced difficulties as she's a merchant and sales have substantially dropped. However, following the guidance of her minister, she understood the importance of monetary offerings of gratitude and began to regularly practice it. In August of 2020, they received a visit from a niece who lives in another city and had been suffering from depression for a few months. Wishing to help her, Fatima told her about Johrei and began to channel it daily for a week, during which time she stayed at Fatima's home. Her niece began to sleep well, which had not happened in a long time. Her joy returned, and before returning to her own home, she was able to participate in a monthly appreciation service and personally received guidance from her minister. In her city, her niece continued to receive Johrei, and in less than a month, she no longer experienced depressive symptoms and stopped taking medications. In view of these many blessings she received, her niece and became Johrei members in January of 2021. In her city, her niece continued to receive Johrei, and in less than a month, she no longer experienced depressive symptoms and stopped taking medications. In view of these blessings received, so she became member in January of 2021. Even with the accumulation of debts that took place during the pandemic, Fatima was able to negotiate her debts and pay them off. With the reopening of her trade, business prospered as she bought her partner's share, becoming the sole owner of her store. These experiences served to transform her, increase her gratitude to God and Meishu-sama, and strengthen her faith. Along with other members of her town, they have already permission to guide 18 people to our church. In July of this year, 2022, Fatima and her mother had the blessing of having the home altar dedicated. Thereafter, they opened their home once a week to welcome members and visitors who wish to channel and receive Johrei. Fatima is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for the blessings given to her and her family. She now wishes to continue making people happy through Johrei and the other practices of our faith. Thank you very much for attending this evening service, for listening to this faith experience. Wish you a very blessed evening, a very blessed week. This concludes our evening service. Thank you very much.